Welcome to Ever Hollow Forever, our very first forever Minecraft world. After several failed world attempts, accidental deaths, terrifying monster structures, and at least one spawn point that looked like it wanted to personally ruin my life, we've finally found a home. And honestly, I think this might be the perfect place to start. We've spawned on this tiny, adorable little island surrounded by some absolutely gorgeous biomes. We've got the Mystic Grove right behind us, scrublands off to the side of us, and the overgrown greens nearby. It already feels magical before we've even built anything. This world is going to be different from my usual videos, my Twitch highlights, and other gameplay videos. Ever Hollow Forever is our long-term Minecraft world. No rushing, no beat the game in 100 days chaos, just building, exploring, crafting, decorating, and surviving questionable decisions while we slowly turn this world into something incredible over time. Some episodes may be cozy, some may be chaotic, some might end with me getting launched off a cliff by something horrifying from a mod I forgot I installed, but this world, we're sticking with it. So for today, I think our first goal is simple. Let's turn this little island into our very first home. Now, as you can see, we've got a lot going on behind us. But that doesn't mean that we can't do something productive with this little space. First things first, I don't want to destroy the structure here. I do, however, want to go collect some wood so that we can get a crafting bench and we can do all of the things that we need to do. So we're going to explore a little bit. Isn't the Mystic Grove just absolutely stunning? I definitely think we're going to be able to utilize this space to create something super cute and cozy to start with. And while the water doesn't necessarily look safe, I think we'll be okay. So the first order of business, as per a usual typical Minecraft play, is to collect wood. Thankfully, with modded Minecraft, I do have the tree feller mod installed, but I'm being shot at by a monster. We're gonna get away from that. The first order of business, unfortunately, chopping down a tree. Tree feller doesn't work without an axe. So we're going to collect a little bit of this wood. I will say that these mods do get a little bit laggy from time to time, which doesn't really bother me too much, but I'll try to edit as much of that out of the video as I can. The structure for these videos is going to be about an hour long each time. That way I'm not stressing my PC and I'm not angering YouTube with the length of time it'll take to actually upload these videos. But I think it's going to be fun altogether. So let's go ahead and turn this redwood log, which I think is going to be super nice to build with in the future, into a crafting table, some sticks, and eventually make some tools. Going to go ahead and make a wooden axe, but I'm hoping that we'll at least be able to get some stone before we have to use too much of our resources up. Oh, look at the adorable little turtle friend! I think we're going to have lots of friends in this playthrough. Excuse me, little buddy. As luck would have it, we have an abandoned, broken down nether portal over there. So let's swim over and see if there's a chest. Maybe we can find something useful. I love these mods because they've added so many different things, including different fish and activity and life in the ocean. Okay, we have to be careful. I don't want to take any damage until I've found some type of food. Aha! And we found a golden pickaxe that has Fortune 2 and Mending, so that'll be helpful and useful in the future. I'm going to go ahead and take this chest with us. Let's go see if we can't find some different wood types that we can build with. We're going to explore over there a little bit. Don't worry, I know how to get back to our little island right over here. And I already see some iron, which is unusual but very helpful. So we're going to collect a little bit of stone using this wonderful golden pickaxe we've just found. And I hear some chicken friends around here too, which is perfect because it means we'll be able to start some animal farms very soon. Collect that iron. Just one, but we got 2 out of it thanks to the fortune on the pickaxe. Now I don't want to completely waste the resources of that pickaxe, so we're going to try to use it as little as possible, which means I'm going to take some of this stone with my crafting table and make some stone tools. Perfect. Now let's go ahead before we go any further and collect a little bit more stone. That way we can make a couple of furnaces to cook some food, and I see some coal over there that we can grab as well. A couple of pieces of coal so we can at least cook some food, but I think we're going to find more somewhere in this area, which is a good thing. So I do see a few different types of wood that we can collect. We're going to try to collect... There's the tree feller. We're going to try to collect a few different types, and we're going to collect some saplings. That way we can grow trees over near our little island. And it's getting late, so I'm hoping maybe we find a house with a bed in it. Some spruce. Always a good type to build with. Very beautiful wood. And it looks like I've spotted something just over there. Let's see if we can use that structure for some shelter. I will take all of those arrows and that bow. I'm sure it'll come in handy. What a wonderful little campsite they've got over here. Let's sort our inventory, and we're going to go ahead and sleep this night away, but we're going to take this bed with us. Now that we've made it to morning, I'm going to take the bed, and I'm going to go ahead and take this chest. I think we'll leave the little campfire though. We're also going to snag these lanterns, that way we have a little bit more light around our personal area over on the little island. Let's see what else might be nearby. We found something I'm pretty sure I don't want to be in just yet. So we'll keep this on the map and make a marker. I'm going to mark it as the spider den. That way we can come back to this later if we want to explore it. I'm sure there's unearthed treasures just here that we're going to find later that'll be useful to us. I also see a pretty large structure over here. Lots of structures nearby and lots of animals that we can hopefully make friends with. I've seen a house like this before. In a private playthrough I did, I actually ended up taking over one of these houses as my temporary base. They're very beautifully decorated, and we're definitely going to want these candles. And I do think I'm going to switch out the bed that I picked up because I don't really like the plain white. Looks like we've got a lot of food in here, which is going to be helpful. We just need to get rid of some of the stuff we don't need on us anymore, because I know we're going to find a few more things in this house that'll be useful to us. rabbit stew. The dried kelp can stay for now. We can always come back. All of these spider webs make for good string for us to repair that bow that we made, and also we can make a fishing rod. We'll also come back and snag all of these different crafting utilities. And we definitely want to pick up that potato. So for now, I'm going to leave the candles, and we're going to leave our fire charges, and we're going to take the potato so we can plant it. We're going to keep this place on our map, collect a few more potatoes. Everything that we can collect will be useful. I think this is a pretty decent start. I think it's a good time now to go ahead and get back to our adorable little island base over here. So we're just going to swim there. Okay, well, while I was swimming, I got a little off course, but that's okay because we found a very beautiful bridge that we can incorporate into a future build, and we've happened to find another broken nether portal. And these are going to be perfect, so when we find diamonds, we can come in and we can mine these down and we can build our own nether portal. And it has some really great loot that we don't have any room for. I am willing to sacrifice my cobblestone for now. I think we're going to leave the obsidian for now, and I spy a little coal just there, so we're going to go mine that before we get home. Ouch. How cute is this little cobblestone bridge? And it leads right up to a little structure over here. We'll definitely have to come back and check this out, but let's get home. Oh, and look, there's a bison. How cute is he? I'm hoping we can make friends with a couple so that we have some. We've got loads of beautiful flowers and tons of animals nearby where we live, so it shouldn't be too hard to get some of those over to our home base. But we're not going to start a farm just yet. We've got to get some basic supplies. We've got to start crafting and growing food. But there's tons of caves for us to check out here too, so I think it's going to work out. And there it is, our beautiful little island. We've made it back. I don't know what that creature is, but it's scary, so we're gonna try to get away from it quickly. I didn't love that experience very much. And I'm not quite sure what he is. But he has a pet fish. And he's getting closer. Though it doesn't look like he can leave the water. Hello. I know you're not friendly. Oh, definitely not friendly. Okay, well, it's nighttime. I think it's probably a good idea if we hide off somewhere and try to sleep. That way we don't get attacked by monsters. Well, we didn't get attacked by a zombie in our sleep, but I'm going to pick up my bed because I don't want to lose it. I'm not sure where our water monster friend went, but I think he's still hiding about over there. Now, we've got a lot of good land over here, but I think this is going to be the perfect area to start with our little beach hut. But I am going to set up a little workstation just here. Now, of course, before we can do anything, we have to make a furnace. And considering I got rid of my cobblestone, which in hindsight wasn't the best idea, let's go collect some real quick. I was able to mine about 25 cobblestone blocks while I was on my little side quest, but unfortunately, on the journey back home to our island, I started to get very hungry and very slow. We're almost there. Bench put down as well, and make a couple of furnaces. Now I'm going to go ahead and cook some of these potatoes, but we're going to plant the rest. So we're going to need to make a hoe. And figure out where we want to plant everything. For now, I think just right here will be fine. Potatoes planted. We've got cabbages, wheat, and potatoes. We're also going to chop a few of these trees down. That way we have a little bit of space for some other saplings. Now we've got the Mediterranean cypress trees that we chopped down earlier. And we'll place these here instead. And our glow flowers can live here. All right, I think we have enough material for building. We've cooked some potatoes. And we've planted some really good plants in our little farm over here, which we'll expand upon. I think we're ready to start building our little hut. I really like the structure of the island, but I think that we should take in some of this sand here. So I'm just going to go ahead and dig that up. Since we've picked up a few more seeds, we're going to go ahead and expand the wheat portion of this farm. And then we can smelt that iron. And we're going to turn all of these that we can into iron bars, which means we can make a pickaxe and a sword. And we're going to go ahead and start smelting some sand so that we have some glass for later. Now we're going to have to find our little cabin that we found before. There's the one over here. And then there's the couple that are up here. So we're going to need to explore those again. and go back and collect what we can from them. For now, I think we're going to build something in this shape, and it's going to go out this way, which means this is going to have to be filled in with some sand. I think it might be time to craft a stone shovel. We're going to make 2 of them. So I think we'll bring it to about here. And this will be the shape of our little house. So let's dig this out and we'll start placing our floor. And as I was digging, I noticed that a couple of our trees have grown, which is perfect because we're probably going to need more oak wood. For now, I think we're going to use basic oak wood for the flooring. I wish I had some birch. I think birch would look really cute for a little cozy cabin on the beach. Now, time for the structure. Now, like I said, I didn't want to take too much away from the structure here of the island. I definitely want to keep it... Hello. I definitely want to keep it with some texture to it. And as it turns to night and we have a beautiful sunset over our little island, we're going to sleep and in the morning finish up building the house. And it is morning again. So we're going to expand this by a couple of blocks. Because I have a shape idea in mind for this little house. This will be perfect for our little bedroom. And we can go ahead and move some of our stuff inside. Maybe we should widen it by 1 block. I think we're going to. We're also going to raise the wall by 1, just to make it feel a little bit more spacious, and that way we have a bigger glass window to really just be able to enjoy the sunsets at night. Actually, with the raise, we may not need to even expand it. I think that'll look good. For now, I think this will be fine. All right, now we've got the perfect shape and we can start preparing to put windows in. And I want this to be very open, so we're going to have floor to ceiling windows here. And once we get more spruce wood, we'll add more stairs to make it prettier and give it more texture, and well, you get the idea. Since we did go ahead and smelt glass though, beautiful. Now we'll be able to watch the sunset when we go to sleep, and you can see we're already pretty close to that. Since it was getting late, I decided to move my chests inside and
which
craft
means
some
we're gonna
doors
have
for
to
my
travel a little
house.
bit.
Let's see what this looks like if we turn it into a door. I don't really want to use the crimson one for this. Ooh, that's a beautiful door. Let's go with that. Not that it really makes too much of a difference, but I think I really like that door. How beautiful. All right. I think we should take a little bit of our food with us and go ahead and try to find our spruce, get some more saplings, and finish up this house. I'm gonna take these with me, but I want to leave the potatoes here for now. Then when we come home, once the house is finished, we can fish for a little bit of food while we wait for our crops to grow. Some of our potatoes are pretty close to done though, which is a good thing. First, before we do anything else, I want to get this palm sapling replanted. So we're just gonna pop him right there. We're also gonna go ahead and grab our iron and make a sword to take with us on the journey, so we're a little bit safer. And for a final touch, we're going to craft a boat. Perfect. Let's head on over to our lovely spruce biomes. We're just gonna boat on over here and we're gonna go try to find some interesting things. Okay, we have an adorable little cabin, which is kind of what I modeled my house after. And we found some tomato seeds. So not much here in this house, and I'm not going to bother taking the barrels or anything like that. But we did collect a crafting table so that we can utilize it if we need it. Now, let's go find the bridge. Here it is. And while there wasn't much to that little cabin, there are some more that we can explore around the area. So we're going to get to the water and we're going to boat all the way up here and we're going to go try to find our spruce saplings that we left behind before. But not before we get this coal. I went around this house and collected all of the things we left behind before, as well as the workstations in the attic and some of the lanterns before we move on and explore the other houses around the area. And then at some point we will come back to take the pigs with us. But I did realize I totally left behind the bookshelves in this room. So let's grab those, and then we'll move on to the other little house. There's a herd of elephants over here. Well, hello, friends. Look at the little baby. They're so adorable. Now, I'm not sure if this house has mean people in it, but it looks to be more like a library, so we're going to find out. As we made our way up the stairs, we found our very first diamond in an item frame, along with a few other ingots and goodies on the second floor. That was some pretty good loot. I do think we should probably take these chests, but I don't really want to get rid of all of the stuff we've collected that we'll have use for later on. Let's keep looking around before we make any final decisions. Wow. This feels a little cheaty, but we're gonna take all of it. Actually, I don't know if we'll be able to. Let's take this lead first. I'm gonna put that pressure plate there. And we're gonna go make another boat. Now that we have a boat with a chest in it, once the sun comes up, we should be safe enough to get out of here and store a lot of this stuff in the chest on the boat that we can take with us back home. Oh, if I had just looked a little bit, we already had one there. For anyone who's curious, all of the mod info for everything that I'm using to play Minecraft today will be in the description box below. So now we just wait for daytime. And with the sun rising just past the horizon over there, I think we're pretty much safe. Oh, hello! What an adorable little mob. I wonder if it's friendly. Let's find out. A mauler. It kind of reminds me of a trapinch or trapinch from Pokemon. Now that the rain has cleared up and the sun is out, I think it's the perfect time to go ahead and set up our boat. What? Is that a kangaroo? Hello! Oh, you are so cute! Okay, we have our lead. And we should grab our other boat from upstairs. Let's get back down to the water, hopefully without scaring any of our new friends. Oh, there's another one. Hi. I know in real life kangaroos don't tend to be the most friendly all the time. Okay. I'm gonna sort this and grab my cooked food back out of here. Okay. Once we had our chest
We have our
boat
boats
full, I
ready,
went
and we
back
should be able to
inside to
just
collect
drag that
more of
one
the
off
loot
of
that
the
we found
shore
in this
back into the
adorable little
water.
library. Since we needed more space, I decided to use the other chest boat we found upstairs instead of my regular boat, so we had more storage space for everything. Once we got that chest full of goodies as well, we went back to collect the last few items before heading back home to our little island.
Hi, little buddy. Perfect. Now, let's try to cart all of this back home. Hopefully we can go under this bridge around here. Oh boy. That's a little ominous looking. We'll definitely have to check that out soon. We made it home, and we have all of our stuff. Now, I'm going to use the rest of my palm to go ahead and make some chests. We're going to get all of this stuff into storage, and then we'll finish building the house.
I started
once
moving
we
all
get
of my loot into the chests I made,
built,
and decided
planted,
halfway
rather.
through that I wanted to remove the window on the side of my house and put a door there instead. Once I got everything moved, it was time to go to bed and rest up for a new day.
And go ahead and get some sleep. And before we conclude today's episode, we're going to go ahead and get these spruce trees planted and get our tomato seeds planted, as well as get some lights going on inside of the house. I'm not really sure why I used the door when I didn't really need to. Let's just plant the spruce trees over here. We're going to go ahead and plant those there. We've got everything planted, everything done, and hopefully at the start of the next episode, some of these will be further grown and the trees will be grown so that we can continue finishing our little beachside house. It's not perfect and it's not complete, for sure. But I think it's going to be a cute little starter base that we'll be able to use to help us expand upon our lovely little island. And I am already getting some really good ideas for what we can do with this build and
Thank you
future
guys
builds
so much for
around the
watching
island
this
and
episode,
in the Mystic
very
Forest.
first episode
in what
So,
I hope to be a very
with that,
long series of our Ever Hollow Forever world. If you had fun, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. You can also check the description and find me on Twitch, and you can hang out with us on stream.
Take care, stay cozy, and I'll catch you all next time.